some sort of no problems. No! Oh no, not going well. Hello, denizens, and welcome back to what may be the final episode of Starsector. Well, at least vanilla Starsector. I fully plan on coming back to this game modded, but I feel like we've reached a point where we've kind of plateaued in terms of content in the game. We are pretty much able to take out anything that we've encountered, and now I do believe that the fact that we're on easy mode and thus have a 300% damage swing in our favor, it definitely plays a role, but regardless, we've reached a point where pretty much everything that I've been encountering I can take on without really even any worries at all. It hasn't been interesting enough to even put on the channel. I've been flying around, sometimes for as much as 3 hours for 20 minutes of footage. And that really does seem like easy mode. It seems like we've kind of cheated ourselves there because our destroyers are taking out cruisers. We can take on multiple cruisers and, even before we even had a cruiser. And we really shouldn't be able to do that. So, yes, I've been very thankful that I've been on easy mode to get established with the game, and we've made progress, and, good things have happened. But I feel like I really ended up just cheating myself there, because it just meant that, well, I ran out of content in the game with a much smaller and less dynamic fleet. And that's something that didn't occur to me when I'd said, I need help in this game, because I did. I really did. And I chose easy mode. So if easy mode had just meant that I started with a few extra ships, we wouldn't be looking at that. But the fact that we get this huge damage swing, yes, it does matter. And, it's an unfortunate choice, but, we got to live with it. Now, I don't know what we'll find in this Tritachyon system of magic that we're about to enter, but it seems like we've reached a point in the game where, we might find a few more fleets out there. I don't doubt that there are some fleets that have, enough that could threaten us, but we've kind of explored the basics of this game, and I want to see what the mods are like. I want to see the mods flesh out the game more, add more factions, add more dynamics to the net game. I want to see them add in some more mechanics. I want to see them flesh out the economy in the game. I want to see all of that stuff, because this game has really grabbed me. It's really grabbed my attention. I've enjoyed it so much, and it makes me so happy that you guys have enjoyed it pretty much as I have. I mean, the majority of you on the channel are watching these videos, but they're by far my most watched videos, and most of you that are subscribed to this channel have mentioned that you really like Starsector, and that's why you're watching my channel and subscribed. I love that you guys like it as much as I do, and I definitely want to come back to it. This is by far probably the most fun I've had with the game this year, honestly speaking. That's not even the usual rhetoric of oh, it's great. No, I'm serious. This game is really, really fun. I want to see them take the game even farther than it currently is. I can definitely see some spots in the game where I go, yeah, I can tell they're not done with this. But I have been enjoying the rest of the game so much, I have no doubt that they're going to address those things and that those areas of the game are going to be fleshed out. So what we're going to do today is we're going to fly into this Tritachyon system. We're going to see if we can find some large fleets. We're definitely going to be flying around in hostile territory. The security fleets in the area are going to be opponents for us. They're going to be hostile. So we're going to be attacked. This may be the end of our fleet, or we may be able to handle it just fine. I don't know. But either way, I'm okay with it. Even if we go in and we face horrible defeat and we lose the game, I'm okay with that. We've kind of run the vanilla game through its paces, and I'm ready to try out the mods. So we'll see what we encounter. Looking forward to it. One thing that I wanted to do while we're just flying around here is talk about my thoughts on the game, because, I have played the vanilla game here, and before we get into the mods, and the mods do open up a whole world of opportunities here, because this game does seem like it's very moddable, and there are some really dedicated people on the forums that I'm quite excited about, because if a game is this early in development and has obviously these holes in the gameplay, and people are that excited about it that they do these really detailed mods, and they seem very dedicated to updating them every time there's a new version of the game, people don't seem to be getting burnt out. That speaks volumes about how rich this game is and how dedicated the community is to it, and I have no reason to believe that once this game is released, or even if it never does, even if it sticks as it currently is, this game is far enough along and detailed enough that it is that enjoyable that people are willing to put in a lot of effort into modding it, and that has me so excited. Ane on the forums has put together a list of suggested mods or recommended mods for the, I guess, kind of standard mod package that you might expect if you are familiar with the game. And that's the Starsector Plus and Nexrelian, the supporting mods such as the version mod and some shader mods and audio chat mods and all the faction mods. And he's put together this nice list of compatible mods, and I've been going through there and I've been looking at them and making sure they're compatible and seeing what they do and if that's something that is going to be beneficial for the videos on the channel. And I really got to thank him for putting that together for me. He's done a wonderful job of getting a good list for me to work from, and I think for our first mod foray with this game, we're probably going to stick to that, I guess, kind of standard mod set, because that seems like it really does flesh out a lot of the mechanics of the game and turn some things on its head and give us some fresh content to look at. And then maybe later on we'll come back and we'll start looking at some of the more exotic mods that might change the game in more significant ways. I'm excited about that. We're probably going to put that together. Long story short, Ane, awesome guy. So here we are in Majek. There's an independent station here, which is very fortuitous because what that means is we have a base of operations. We have a friendly station in the system that I can go to and repair and buy more supplies. If we start running low, replace any crew we might lose, get more Marines, whatever we need to do. I don't have all that much money right now, which is a little bit concerning, but I'm hoping that I get enough the funds just from the bounties from the hegemony for taking out the Tritachyon, because of course the Tritachyon is their enemy. Okay, looks like we're not actually going to get that much from the open market in terms of ships. It looks like there's these construction rigs, and that's pretty much it, and we don't want those. Found out on the forum that these are just really slow ships. They don't really do all that much for you. Currently in the game, all they really do is allow you to repair your fleets faster, and I found out that repairing your fleets faster does not use fewer supplies. It just increases the rate at which supplies are used, and you're still using the same number to repair your ships. I know we had that question for a while now, and I found out the actual answer to that. So there's no point in these currently. I believe later on they'll be used to build your own stations and your own, solar shades and collectors and mines and whatnot in the game that will flesh out the economy side of the empire management that really isn't in the game yet. It's not present, and I'm looking forward to that. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, well, we've got a small Tritachyon patrol here. We've got some carriers, some fighters. Nothing that's we need to be too concerned about, but it's at least sizable. We definitely want to bring out our ship as well as our destroyers. I don't know if I need the cruiser, but yeah, I'll probably go ahead and bring out our standard fighters. I don't think I need the bombers because there's no large targets. Those bombers they're really slow, and I'd rather have the fighters. Well, actually, since it's just a whole bunch of frigates, and that way I don't have to bring my carriers out, let's just swap and we'll bring out the cruiser instead, because nothing on the field is going to be able to take out that cruiser, and that way I don't have to use the extra supplies to bring out our carriers. Interestingly, we seem to start in the middle of the map here. I'm not sure why. Possibly that's because they attacked us. I'm not sure. Alright, well, we've got some fighters over here. I want to fly over here and see if I can take these out, because that's a lot of fighters. 6 fighters is a lot, and I don't know what these are. I should have probably looked. I think these might be the Wasps that we saw. Alright, our destroyers, we probably want to tell to stop fighting those fighters and go start taking out the frigates. I'll try to take out these fighters. I'll use my temporal ability here to slow down time and just take out as many of them as I can while time's slow, which is going to help me to prevent them from flanking me and shooting behind me. And I should be able to pretty much take out all those. Yeah, alright, well, I'll just move on to these frigates until that ability is out. You can see down in the bottom left, that ability seems to recharge really, really fast. I can't point my mouse at it, but it's already ready again. Our temporal shield is already ready. I should probably be using that skill a lot more frequently than I do. Hello, missile. I've got to turn. I had to turn so my point defense could actually hit it. Alright, well, we have a destroyer helping out here, so this guy should probably go down quickly. Oh, my shields are down. Did I overload? Alright, let's vent. I hate it when that happens. I sometimes think I just accidentally right-click and bring my shields down. Alright, well, let's just leave him alone. Let's see how things are going. This just seems like it's going to be a long, drawn-out fight. I'm missing my fast little frigates. I don't seem to have the speed necessary to take out the enemy frigates. And really, of course, we were exploiting the fact that we were in easy mode, because our frigates, while fast, were vastly superior to any other frigate. That guy is moving. Do you guys see that? The game is paused while you're in this screen, by the way. That guy was definitely moving. But anyway, our frigates are so much more powerful than any other frigate that they were encountering, so you could really take out these frigates that are just kind of stray, that just can dance around our destroyers. Maybe it's a good thing that I'm in the ship I'm currently in, because I'm equivalent speed to these other frigates, because of course I'm in a frigate myself. I just seem to be in kind of a custom fast one. We're kind of scattered all over the place, but it really doesn't matter, because they don't have a Did they have a carrier? I'm trying to remember. If we see more fighters at this point... No, I don't see any more. If we kept seeing more fighters, then we'd know they had a carrier somewhere in the back. I've noticed that the computer typically does that. They'll keep their carriers way back in the back, out of the main combat zone, and you really need to hunt them down, otherwise they'll continue to pump out fighters. Because they use fighters a lot more than we do. We've got 2 wings of fighters, but I've gone into battles with the opponents that have maybe 6 wings of fighters or something like that. And so you'll really have to pay attention, because if they can keep those fighters away from you and long enough to rebuild those attack wings, they really can come in and flank you. Now here there's circling missiles again. Oh, I think I managed to get my shield there in time. Ugh. Alright, well, looks like some attack frigate and a tanker got away. We'll just let them go. Don't really need to push myself that much. I don't want to waste the supplies. Again, while we do have a friendly station here, and we are going to be doing lots of combat, if we do take some large engagement or something like that, I'm going to need a lot of supplies to repair, and I don't want to push it that close. Again, I'm trying to earn all my money from bounties, so I don't want to be spending my money on supplies at this point. Alright, well, that wasn't all that big of a fight. We're going to go see if we can find some more. And I said earlier I was wanting to give my thoughts on the game, and I've kind of have started doing that, but just while we're out here... Ooh, wow, look at all those. We've got a lot of sensor signals over here. I kind of want to give my thoughts on the game, and since there doesn't appear to be any large fleets over here, just some mercantile stuff here. A few more mercantile. Alright. So, again, I've really enjoyed my time with this game. This game has been so much fun, and I really, really am encouraged by the maturity of the developer. They seem to be committed to making this a really, really awesome game. And they haven't put it up on early access or anything like that. Even though this game is already really, really fun, they've been supporting the mod community. They have been doing all the things that a developer should. They're active on the forums. They're talking about the development of the game. They recognize that the game is where it is in development. They recognize that there's still game systems that aren't in there, but a lot of the mechanics are, the pure mechanics are there that they can build off of. And we got another patrol over here. Probably want to go take them out. Looks like some destroyers and maybe an assault cruiser in there. So, but there are some areas in the game, obviously, that are very lacking. For instance, we have the economy side of the game. That's obviously just not implemented. And I think that would be really, really helpful right now, because that would give us something else to do. Right now, I feel like I'm in this situation, and yes, easy mode, we've already talked about that, where I've kind of maxed out. And I don't think we're really going to be pushed too much, because there's a reinforcement limit on how many points worth of ships you can bring into a battle. For us, it's 100. I can have a larger fleet than this, but I've pretty well maxed out my capacity there. So at that point, I'm just having ships in reserve, and so that I can handle successive combats and replace any losses and things like that, which is important. Doesn't make for very interesting videos. It's important, but I would like to maybe at this point be like, okay, well, we've kind of got this fleet. We can go take on these large fleets and get lots of money when we do, particularly if there's a bounty active in the area. And then I want to go and invest in a station. Might be really expensive to do it. Might be something that's very end game, but, you know, it would be really neat to be able to invest in a station and have your own passive economy, maybe have your own shipyards, maybe be able to commission ships, whatever they want to do with this. Now, this is one of those phase strike guys. These guys are really annoying. I don't know where you get them from. I have to assume the Tritachyon itself is who you get these ships from. They are incredibly annoying. As of right now in the game, they can just dodge your shots left and right. As soon as you fire any significant weapon at them, they will instantly phase and the shot doesn't affect them. Instead, they seem to build up a little bit of flux. But the problem is they also have this kind of like warp move where they can move really fast and dodge out of range of you. And so you can't keep the damage on them. I've had games or missions where I literally just chased after them for 10 minutes or something. I mean, that's just a guess. Our combat readiness just started dropping, and they had a lower combat readiness than I did, and so eventually they died. I mean, that's just... That's not for fun gameplay. That's actually what ultimately I wanted these carriers for, was so that I would have fighters to be able to chase them down. But these fighters aren't fast enough. Maybe there are some interceptors in the game that are, instead of these heavy fighter wings or something, or multi-role fighters, but they weren't good. They weren't good enough. And so, you know, I guess maybe just a swarm of frigates that can kind of keep up with. Ooh, okay. Wow, that was a lot of missiles. I don't know who shot that off. But, I got a vent here. And here come our own missiles. Alright, hi guys. I wonder who those are going after. Yeah, it's probably that destroyer up there, so I need to be careful that I don't build up too much flux. Let's see what things look like. Let's go ahead and bring in our extra ships. This is a surprisingly strong force here, and move my carrier back to keep it safe. I don't have any suspicions that we would have any trouble staying alive, necessarily. Our core ships are going to be fine. They're very tanky, but especially those hammerheads. But I think for extra firepower, we'll probably want those extra ships. I'm just going to see if I can just pick out frigates. I know it's not the most exciting thing, but it's something that's pretty hard for our other ships to do, and certainly until we're ready to take on some of those large targets, this is worthwhile to do. This is going to prevent them from being able to flank behind us or take out our carriers or something like that. I've got these fighters here, which will help me take them out because they've got the missiles. Apparently those fighters can actually reload. I didn't realize that. They can fly back to the carrier and reload their missiles. I thought you just didn't have any more shots until they died. But they actually can reload. So, he's showing his butt to us. Can I get behind him? No, he's turned around. Oh gosh, I don't have shields up. Alright, I don't think I can take these guys on. I'll just leave that. Whoa! Okay, stay out of the way of that fire. Somehow I turned my shields off. I don't know how I did that. I really wish it wasn't on right-click. I mean, it's extremely handy that you can just smack right-click and bring your shields up. But I might have to remap that because I hit it just kind of reflexively and kind of accidentally. I don't know if I can take all these ships on. I'm building up a lot of flux. And you can see there that those ships are obviously more maneuverable than I am. I mean, that guy just did a complete loop around me, and there was nothing I can do other than just turn to keep my shields faced at him. And that's obviously what he's trying to do, is loop around behind so he can get behind me, but man, those guys are agile. I'm just looking for targets of opportunity here. I didn't even realize our destroyer was up here. I was wondering where our ships were. We should be able to take out this guy. I'll just get within... see if I can tag him with my main shot. Can I get close enough? No. But our destroyer and fighters will be able to take him out. Alright, we're picking him off here. It's a little bit slow. I wish it were a little bit faster, but I have lost all of my other frigates at this point. At this point, we have all slow ships, and these targets can phase jump, and it's very difficult to catch them. It's obviously something that we definitely don't have an appropriate counter to that, other than really my ship, which can overload them. And if I can get them to overload or get really high flux, then I can because I can obviously prevent them from jumping, and our ships can catch them. But without being able to do that, and it's really hard because they can dodge those antimatter blaster shots that I've got. So I've really got to tag them with it, and if I don't do that, they're just going to continue to dodge and escape from our destroyers. Okay, so at this point, I think there's just that one ship over there. I think that's it. Everybody looks like they're heading that way, except for our one carrier we told to stay down there. So it's just flying behind. See if we can get close enough that we can do some damage on this guy. Right now, all I'm trying to do is just shoot at him, because any shot that he misses, or while he's phased, will cause him to gain flux. So as long as I can do damage to him or cause him to have to go into phase, eventually he's going to overload, and I'll have a free day here, just taking him out. As long as I can keep him high in flux, we should have no problem with this. Although I want to be careful I don't actually block my other ships from firing at him. There we go. Okay, well, that went a little bit slow, but we did it. And we didn't take too much damage in the process. We lost a few fighters, but we'll replace those soon enough. Got enough supplies from this combat to make it, at least worthwhile. And I suspect we'll make some money out of this, although not very much. So, getting back to what I was talking about before we did this combat, I definitely want to see the economy advance more. This game makes some choices with its economy. It makes trading not worthwhile. In fact, even on the main menu, it tells you that normal trading is not profitable due to tariffs. I mean, it straight up tells you that this game, that is not a profitable action. Spend your time doing other things. And that was something that is jarring, because, that's my approach to these games is, okay, let's get the economy under my belt, make sure I have some good money generation, make sure that I can afford these combats before I risk losing some of these ships. And this game is not designed for that. And so I really wish there was a little bit that was more clear. Some of these missions, they're going to, they say, hey, I want this many units of this good over in this system. And there's nothing in the game. Obviously, the tutorial isn't fully implemented, but there's nothing in the game that tells you, okay, this is going to require this much cargo hold. Or, it might take us 35 days to get over there, and there's only 20 days left on the mission. If you take this, you're going to be stuck with the goods. There's nothing to help a new player with that. And that was something that takes some time getting used to. And so I really think that there's two aspects to the economy. One is there needs to be a tutorial on how that economy works. There's some good ships over here. Let's see if we can catch up. Okay. Let's, oh boy, take a look at this, guys. There is an elite carrier here. I'm just going to sit here on the screen for a few moments and finish up my previous thoughts before we do this engagement, because we may not survive this. This is our first super capital ship. This is an elite carrier. Look at that. 6 flight decks on it, and I have to assume that it is probably armed reasonably well. Some of our carriers, they basically are just a carrier. I have to assume as a super capital ship, this thing is armed probably to the teeth. 6 flight decks, and look at all of those ships back, those fighter wings back behind here. They are going to be pumping out fighters like nobody's business. And look at all of these freighters. We even have a cruiser in there, probably looks like some destroyers. Okay, they only have 1 cruiser. So as long as we can survive the fighters, we should be okay. Well, this may be the end of us. We may end this series right at this battle. We may not survive. But let me just finish up my thoughts, and then we'll jump to that. I'll go ahead and put a little marker right here if you want to just skip straight to the combat. Okay, so I was talking about the economy, and not only does there need to be a tutorial that kind of fleshes that out and teaches you what you need to know, but I feel like there needs to be something beyond combat that is profitable. And I haven't been able to make trade profitable. You've seen me just dumping the goods because the supplies are worth so much more. I just want all the supplies I can get because I'm in the system and, they cost like 100. Sure, I could go fly over to the next system over and buy them for 30 maybe, but it's going to take me, 30 days to do it or something like that, and it's just not profitable to do that. So either I need to bring along a lot of freighters that can carry a lot of supplies and go find them cheap, or which slows down your fleet and then causes you to spend more supplies. or I just need to just hoard them, and then I don't have any cargo room left over, so I just end up dumping everything else. Maybe that's something that's just not occurring me on how to solve, but um, I feel like right now trading in the game is just too harsh. Maybe that's something that, yes, it should be, very slightly in the game's favor, almost like gambling, right? When you go to a casino or something, a lot of the games, yes, are rigged, but a lot of them are just barely rigged to be just barely profitable to the casino. So, for instance, I'm thinking of what's the name of the one game where you have the wheel and they spin the ball around? Oh, I can't remember that. You guys are probably gonna yell at me in the comments, but and you can bet on a particular slot or you can bet on a particular color. And in the game, for instance, if you bet on one spot, the payout is 35 to 1, I think. Which means if you get it right, you get 35 times what you bet. But there's 36 slots. And so, there's just slightly better odds for the. I mean, obviously, because the casino stays in business, everybody knows these games are rigged in the casino's favor. But the game is just very slightly rigged. You can walk out of there with huge winnings. You really can. And that's what gets people hooked. And it just slowly drains their money. The casino is all about getting you to come back and continue to spend money. They don't want the game to be so ridiculously rigged against you that you just say, oh gosh, I lost a ton of money, I'm not doing this again. No, they want you to be like, oh, I won a lot. Yeah, let's go do that again. Or, oh, I came so close, I won a lot, but then I should have walked away, when I did. And it's really just supposed to slowly drain you over time. So maybe the economy in this game needs to be a little bit more like that, a little bit more forgiving, where the average trade is almost profitable. But if you do the right thing and you spot those big trades where the trade is disrupted or there's some good that's in great demand somewhere, and you take advantage of that, then you get a big boost. And it just kind of feeds that gambling hook. I think the game would probably benefit from that if it just was. I mean, right now, you try to do trades, you're incurring a 30% tariff when you buy goods and a 30% tariff when you sell goods. That makes trading horrendously profitable. Now, when we take out these fleets, these mercantile fleets, if you play as a pirate or something, then you're going to be getting some of those goods without doing that, but of course you're restricted in where you sell. We can take out pirate convoys, and we've been doing that, but again, I haven't been taking the goods because the supplies are always worth more. So I feel like that those numbers just need to be tweaked. It's not a problem, it's just, as the game is implemented right now, I feel like that needs to be tweaked. Obviously, the whole economics and station building and all that also needs to be tweaked, and I hope that they do that, but that whole side of the game just needs a going over, needs more features, needs more besides just the combat. Because later in the game, we've seen there's not very much to challenge you. You just fly around after guys that are running from you, even if there's opponents that are hostile to you. And very rarely do you seem to find somebody that's powerful. Now here we have somebody who's powerful. I don't know how much of this they're going to be able to bring out to do the fight, because it looks to me like there's more here than you could use with your reinforcement points, but maybe the computer doesn't follow quite those same rules. Other things about the game, real quick, I just want to mention the fights in this game, you have to win. If you lose engagements, it is so hard to recover. And I don't just mean from the economic side, because, well, yeah, I already talked that to death. But if you lose an engagement or something, and all of a sudden you have way more supplies than you can carry, or you have, more fuel or whatever, you're stuck. You can't move, and you've got to dump all that stuff, and maybe now you're just too slow. The opponent can catch you. That happened to me the very first time I played, where I got in a bad situation and I couldn't get away. The opponent could always just chase me down, and I could not escape. And this is particularly punishing for people who are taking traders, because of course those ships are slower. Those big freighters are slow. And the game punishes you for that. And it punishes you if you lose an engagement because, okay, maybe you escape. Maybe you retreat with some of your ships, but you're still sitting right next to the guy that took you out. And you have like 5 seconds of immunity, and then they can come after you again. And they'll do their emergency burn, and they'll chase after you, and you may, but you may not escape because, yeah, maybe you're over your cargo limit or something like that, and you haven't been able to dump your cargo in time. So it's very hard to recover from a loss in this game, at least if you lose significantly. If you incur enough losses that they don't pursue you, then you might be okay. But if you suffer a kind of devastating loss and you pull away with some ships and you're like, all right, let's rebuild, the game really has a hard time letting you do that. And I don't know of a good way to solve that. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, from a game design angle, how do you solve that? The computer's playing by the same rules that you are. And you don't want to punish the player because they didn't quite take out all of the other ships. You know, you want to pursue them and hunt them down, right? And the computer wants to do the same thing with you, but how do you give the player a way to get away with mistakes? Because, of course, the computer just spawns more ships if they make a mistake. Sure, you exploit it, you take advantage of it, you wipe them out, and yay, okay, well, yeah, but they just generate more ships to fly around and ferry cargo. You don't get the pleasure or the freedom to do that. You can't just spawn ships out of midair. So you need a slightly different mechanic for recovering from that situation, and the game doesn't have it. Other than that, though, really this game has got it in spades. The graphics, fantastic. The gameplay depth, fantastic. I like the combat readiness mechanics. I like all the combat mechanics. I like this game. I definitely want to see where they go with it. All right, now I have been blabbing for I don't know how long at this point, but we now have what may be. I'm probably just going to stop it right after this combat. I don't know what we'll do, but this could. Might be overstating it, but this could very well end our fleet. This is a super capital ship. It's not to be taken lightly. We have one cruiser, and that's it. So, I don't know if we can take this out. If we had a fleet of cruisers, maybe we could. If we had more destroyers than the 3 that we have, maybe we'd be all right. If I had more bombers, might be all right. But I don't think bombers are going to touch this guy. For one, he has tons of defense in the fighters. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's move into engage. Let's bring in everything. We're going to need all of it. Our ships are pretty well off. We a little bit low on combat readiness. We probably won't be able to let the combat drag on. You know what? I can't bring out this cruiser unless I bring another ship out. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll leave my carrier out and not bring it in because I don't have enough reinforcement points. Looks like I only have 80 available instead of 100, which is a little bit strange. I think I've been able to bring them all out before, but I won't bring them all out. I'll leave that carrier, and if I lose some ships or something like that, then I'll bring the carrier out. But at least at the beginning of the game, I don't need to be replacing those fighters immediately. So we'll roll with it, and we'll make it work. We might have to retreat a ship and then bring that ship out. I don't know. All right, I'm probably going to do the suicidal move here of flying out and seeing if we can scout out the enemy. Just get a sense for where they are before I give these guys additional orders. Because I'm looking at our numbers here. We are pretty pathetic. You know what I'll probably do is have this destroyer guard my cruiser. That way, or just help out my cruiser. That way, they have a greater chance of taking out any large targets we encounter. And then I'll use my other ones to engage with any frigates. And, oh gosh, I hate those fighters. Oh, well, he's gone now, so. And then I'll use my other ones to take out targets of opportunity, take out frigates, just try to start whittling these guys down. My job probably is going to be to take out fighters and protect our carriers from whether it's... Well, we only have the one carrier, but I still want to protect it. But I need to protect my ships from these fighters and from any frigates that are trying to circle around. I need to order these destroyers back. I don't want them this far advanced. Yes, they only have one cruiser, but we're going up against a significantly more powerful foe. So I want to keep them safe, at least until I know that it's, well, safe to commit them to the fight. So I think these are bombers. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can take them out. Looks like we've got a long-range missile ship as well. Again, I'm going to slow down time so that I can take out as many of these targets as I can. I think I can take these bombs out on my shields. I think they're only effective if your shields are down. Let's see if I can... Yeah, I can just prevent these bombs from ever reaching our cruiser, which is good, although our cruiser had a shield up, so not too big there. Ooh, looks like there's some torpedo ships. Let's see if I can get real range of that guy. Looks like we have some torpedo fighters over there, but our destroyers took them out. What is that target over there? I should have looked at what they are. I don't know. I know that one cruiser there is it's kind of a weaker cruiser. We turned it down. We had the opportunity to pick it up, but again, it just was weaker. What is this? It looks like a mule? Okay, so it might be some sort of... No. Problems. No! Oh, no. Not going well. Oh, no, I don't know what type of missiles those were, but man, they hit me right when my shield overloaded. No. Alright, let's transfer command to this destroyer. We'll make lemonade out of lemons, I guess. Alright, well, let's see if we can, again... We're probably going to do a lot of the same role. We have a little bit more firepower at our disposal now, so at least there's that. See if I can overload him and do damage to him. Maybe not. Okay. Well, let's go back after this mule, which is not the mistake we were making the last time. The mistake is we got too close to that cruiser. I won't be doing that again. Now, what else is nice is, again, these hammerheads are really, really tanky. Let's dodge those bombs, though. They're not that tanky. But we're really tanky. We have 360-degree shields, and we also have a damage reduction on our shields, so that any damage we do take is, well, less significant than if it was on another ship. I really want to keep them away from that. Okay, I don't know what just happened, but I lost sound. Hold on. Let me pause it and see if I can get that resolved. Okay, I'm not really sure what happened there. I think what happened is a Bluetooth speaker was turned on, and my computer decided, oh, hey, that's now the default. And now the game sounds are no longer coming out through to the recording software. At least they're not coming to my headphones. And I unpaused it just briefly, and I didn't see any of the waveforms in my recording software. So I don't know whether I'm going to have audio on the main game or not, but I can't stop the game right now. I mean, we're in the middle of this combat. This is the biggest combat I've seen. I don't want to let it go. So if we don't have game sounds, I'm sorry. I don't know a way of getting that back on. There's no way to save mid-combat and come back to it. So just imagine some pew-pews and some boom-booms, and we'll go from here. All right, well, I'm trying to remember what we were doing now. I think I need to continue to whittle down these fighters some. I'm kind of concerned that they're going to just pick us off. And yes, I know they have a carrier that's just going to be replacing them, but eventually they are going to run out. And so far, the only ship we've lost to my stupidity. And, well, there's no real cure for that, now is there? But I think it's important to try to take these out, just because they're gonna flank around us, but they're faster than we are. All right, well, I'm trying to make up my mind here whether I need to pay attention to these ships and take them out. Well, that was easy. Or I need to take out the fighters. As long as we can keep the fighters down, as long as we can keep their numbers down, they can't overwhelm us. Yeah, they're going to be being replaced, but again, as long as we aren't facing overwhelming numbers, or they aren't being able to flank some of our weaker ships. Ooh, he is behind us. And some fighters are. Ooh, glad I actually came in here. Yeah, I was just talking about how we shouldn't be getting flanked. I probably need to let them deal with that. Either I can go help with that and leave our front end exposed, or what I'm hoping is our ships will handle that okay, as long as I'm keeping the fighters engaged up here. I want to just continue to pick them off. They are going... Okay, those are just fighters. It's just fighters out here, and although we're getting a lot of flux, I need to get out of here. I was just saying that we could handle the fighters for the rest of our fleet and pick them off, but I have a lot of flux right now, and I need to be careful because my hard flux is pretty high. I've taken out all the targets in the vicinity, so I should be able to back up here and drop my shields. I don't know that I want to vent Yeah, actually I do, because I want to lose that flux as fast as I can, because here comes another wing. Okay, bring my shields back up, and just in time. Okay, this is going well. I'm picking off a lot of fighters, chewing through a lot of those expendables. Yes, I'm going to have to kill a lot of them, but once we're through these fighters, like, there is nothing that the enemy has that can really stop us, I don't think. I don't think that elite carrier can stop all of us on its own. We've got that one cruiser back behind. Yeah, I really want to protect that carrier. It's got 2 phase guys right on it. Let's go ahead and bring out my other carrier, because I can do that now. He's going to come in down here, and I want to bring him up. I have a feeling he'll be able to slip around that other cruiser, and we'll have the 2 carriers protect each other. Between the 2 of them, they have a decent number of weapons, and they should be able to deal with some of the enemy firepower. So if I remember right, we put a lot of point defense weapons on that one. Okay, I want to come up here, and I want to see if I can find out where these fighters are coming from. Our guns should be able to deal with that. I want to find out where they're coming from. They look like they're coming from up here. I can see a couple other wings out here, and I think that they're replacing their losses from up here. I want to come up here and see if I can find that elite carrier. If I can figure out where the elite carrier is, then I can either allocate ships to come at it, or I can just park myself right outside and deal with the fighters as I've been doing. Boom. Take him out. I just want to continue to clean these up. We have enough beam weapons here that I think we're doing okay as far as shooting down the enemy fighters, although we now have started to take combat readiness reductions. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of fighters around us, but I'm up in this corner and I don't see the enemy carrier. I can't imagine that they didn't commit the carrier. I've been seeing too many replacements for that to be the case. Ooh, looks like our cruiser down here has got them pinned. That's good news. They won't be able to travel off the map, so we should be able to clean them up. Not too worried about our carriers down there anymore. Again, picking off these fighters. There's a lot of them. Well, then again, they seem to be coming maybe from this direction. I mean, I already checked the top left, so I don't think they're up there. Let's just continue to take these fighters out. Lower my shields for a moment while there's no fighters around. I'm not... Oh, they slipped in. Oh, well, it wasn't very much damage. I didn't do a vent there because I didn't want us to get in a situation where I couldn't raise my shields. Your shields do drop their hard flux if you just lower them, and that gives you the opportunity to raise those shields back up if you need to, if you start facing a target that's going to start doing damage to you. Whereas if you vent, you have to wait for the vent process to complete before you can raise your shields again. So that's something that I've learned the hard way in this, that venting is not always the best, even though it does get rid of your flux very fast. Still haven't found that carrier. How are they doing down here? Okay, they got rid of the big cruiser and the supporting frigate. Okay, so pretty much they've cleaned up down there. So I want to find this carrier before it has a chance to retreat, since all of his buddies are gone. But I don't know where he is. I feel like he might have just replaced a lot of these fighters and then just been flying around up here. I mean, he's definitely not down in the southern portion of the map. Boy, this is a slow, drawn-out thing. As long as I can keep those tack lasers on him, though, it's gonna burn through him. Okay, I have nothing on radar right now. No fighters to the north of me. I mean, I guess he could have dropped down potentially to take some of the nav boys or the comm relays, but oh gosh. Our Sunder class carrier is danger of malfunction. It's gotten low enough combat readiness. I think that means it's just dropped below 40, though, so we'll be okay. Yeah, I'm off over here all alone, which is a little bit dangerous, but there's almost no targets left. I'm afraid I'm going to lose that elite carrier to a retreat. Well, there's some fighters over here. I guess we'll go over there and see if I can pick that carrier up. Actually, what I might be able to do is take this nav boy, which I think increases the maneuverability and speed of all your ships. So if I can take that, then, well, we'll be faster, because we don't have access to our fast little scouting ship anymore. Let's see if I can just overload this guy. He turns faster than I do, though. Yeah, he danced out of range. I don't know that I'll be able to catch him and get him to overload. If I can actually get him to overload, I'll be able to take him out. But it looks like he's just probably going to dance in, do some damage to me, dance out. Oh, well, we've got more fighters, so I don't think that ship has retreated. I haven't been watching the event log close enough to notice whether they had retreated. It doesn't look like they're actually in retreat, though, because if they were, I think the other ships would be retreating as well. So, yeah, I'll probably just take this sensor array. I don't know exactly what a sensor array does, but it might allow us to see farther, or it might give us a permanent vision over this area. I don't know. Let's try it out. Let's go ahead and take it and see what it does. I mean, no time like the present. Last episode in the series. Good going, Penguin. To take it all we have to do is sit on it instead of drift off of it like I'm doing here. This guy is just going to continue to be annoying. Eventually I'm going to have to drop my shields to lose any flux that I might have before he actually has a chance to overload me, but in the meantime I'm going to try to take out some of these fighters. Whoa, we have a lot of flux. Okay, I need to move before before my shields go down. Okay, I have overloaded. Yeesh. Fortunately, they don't do too much damage. These are just little fighters. Those missiles might be able to do a little bit, and I vented. Oh, bombers. Okay, we are now in trouble. There are a lot of fighters around. I probably should overload him if I can. Use some of my missiles against him. That's not working. Okay. Wrong idea. Let's see if we can get away from these bombers before they can bomb me. Took a little bit of hull damage, but I'm still okay as long as I don't take. Oh boy, that is the elite carrier right there. No wonder. Okay, I don't know where he came from. Good gosh. Okay, now there's tons of guys everywhere. There are missiles everywhere. Oh no. Lost another destroyer. Okay, well there he is, and yes, he definitely has some armament. That was a lot of missiles after me. It looks like some cluster missiles or something, and oh boy, okay. I don't know if I have enough left to take this guy on. I have 2 destroyers left and a cruiser. That's it. Well, let's escape from this one. Our little escape pod goes over, and let's throw another destroyer at him. Now I think this is our original destroyer. Yeah, I got my shields up that time, sucker. I don't know whether I should go after these fighters or go after the carrier itself. Let's order everybody to go take the carrier out. I mean, we need all of our firepower to take. We don't want to go at this guy one at a time and get picked off. I still want to see if I can flank him. Oh, that is a lot of missiles. Although they don't do anything against shields. So if I time it well, like just this, we should be okay. I'm gonna back up a little bit here while our other ships get in range and tie them up, and then see if I can lose this flux really, really fast. Okay, missiles coming after me. I should be able to get. Oh, that was the one that killed me before. Oh, I want to find out what that missile is. I want that missile. That was absolutely devastating. Let's go ahead and he's close to overloading. Let's go ahead and use our missiles against him. Well, actually, probably the smarter choice is not to use the missiles. It's to use our accelerated ammo feeder to really pile on the damage. Taking a little bit of hull damage from these guys, nothing significant. I want to disengage, get my flux down again, and come back in and overload him again. I figure as long as I can keep him relatively overloaded, then I should be able to just let our cruiser just chew him apart. Our cruiser's doing just fine. I think his shields are probably strong enough. Oh, my flux is high again. Okay, oh, we have this guy. Oh, I took another one of those cell phones. Oh, gosh. No! I don't want to lose this ship. I really, really don't want to lose this ship. Otherwise, I'll be down to 1 destroyer. We're so close to taking out this target. He's got as much hull as I do left, percentage-wise. Oh, we got him. All right, there we go. Man, he is good with those missiles. He uses them at the right time. Okay, well, at this point, I figure the enemy's going to retire. The enemy's just going to retire. We're going to go ahead and call it here. I'm just going to accept victory. We've already won the fight. That's what that little message that popped up was. So I'm just going to claim victory, which means that we let any forces that are still in the engagement leave, and then we get to recover and just prevent any further combat readiness drops or any further damage, because we are absolutely brutalized. We have just a few ships left alive at this point. Oh gosh. Wow, I didn't realize I lost another destroyer. I was down to a cruiser, a destroyer, and 2 carriers, and 1 fighter wing. That was it. I didn't actually realize I lost that other destroyer. That was close. That was really, really bad. I don't know when I lost the Sunder. Oh well, we destroyed a whole lot, but we're just going to let everybody else go. Lost 33 crew, no Marines. Oh, okay, our salvage crews were able to restore the ISS Feronia 4, and okay, we got 2 of them back. I think that's our custom frigate and the Sunder. So I think we got one of our destroyers back, and we got our own ship back. All right, yes! Now they have 0 combat readiness, but we'll get them back. So that means I only lost the 1 destroyer. Is that right? I think so. Oh, I am so glad I took that skill that increases the chance of that happening. And we can take a combat freighter. We only have a 100% chance to succeed. Why not? We're going to be going back to port anyway after this. I wonder how much salvage we get. We get 1,982 credits direct. I wonder how much the hegemony pays us. Let's just take all of this. We're obviously going to have way too much cargo because we lost some ships. So we still need to ditch some more after we... Well, you know what? We're going to spend so much supplies repairing that I'm just going to go ahead and incur a little bit extra for having too many on hand. Okay, so there you go, guys. Are they coming after us? No, okay. I think this is a good place to call it. I think that that's probably the biggest engagement we're going to see in a while, and it would take me a long time to recover from this. I have enough money I can replace that destroyer, but we're going to have to see if we can't recover, because I have a feeling it's going to cost a lot of supplies to repair those ships. Our average combat readiness is, below 30% still, so... I think that's probably where we're going to call it on Vanilla Starsector. I have totally enjoyed my time here. I hope you have enjoyed watching, and I hope you are enjoying this game as well. I hope possibly have encouraged a few of you to possibly go out and buy it yourselves if you haven't seen this game before. I can't recommend it highly enough, and I look forward to further releases from the developer, and I look forward to trying out the mods. Thanks for sticking with us and putting up with my stupidity. We'll see you next time, folks.